Hello and welcome back to Knock of the Perch, a Manchester United podcast. And today we are discussing, on the back of a lot of news coming in from Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, that the talks for Matheus Cunha to Manchester United are gaining pace, and we could possibly have a new attacking player in our ranks. Hey Dheeraj, what's up? What do you make of this deal?
Matheus Cunha, very interesting type of player. The last time I was this excited about a player was when we were linked with Jack Grealish, and very recently, Giggsy, he talked in an interview that like Jack Grealish would have been the perfect player for us, but like he was kind of sort of spoiled when he went to City because he lost his natural game. I see
Systems player. No, I don't think Jack Grealish is a systems player.
Jack Grealish is a totally vibes player, and he was like he's so restricted in the City lineup. I see Cunha as a big man in Wolves, and like, everything goes through him. We saw that in the game against United as well, and very recently, yesterday's game against Leicester, he had two assists and one goal, and was thoroughly involved in the game.
Yeah.
Brilliant player. You need a player who has some sort of flair in your system, who brings some sort of creativity in your system, because right now we are begging for some creativity, and all the creativity is the onus of all the creativity right now falls on Bruno. But we have to see if we have seen United has been a graveyard for talent, be it managers, be it players. Is he the kind of player who stands up to the pressure, who can beat the pressure and be that player for us? That's a big question.
Yeah, in my eyes, there are two broad things that we need to look at in terms of, is Matheus Cunha becomes a right fit for Manchester United? One, his profile and how does he fit into this Ruben Amorim system? And is he the right behavioral and cultural fit for a squad like ours? Because there's a lot of scrutiny on players of Manchester United. You come in with a lot of expectations, and let's get in. Let's talk about both of these, starting with the overall player profile and the role fitment. Now, something that we have seen Matheus Cunha do is play that striker or a second striker or an inside forward role really well. And it's not just that he's good at finishing, he is great at getting past players in a one on one situation and getting it from the defenders or midfield and carrying it forward. I think we've seen it with Wolves that he does that really well. And that could fit him really well in that number 10 profile that Amorim uses. And typically, if you see, the two number 10s that Amorim had, even at Sporting Lisbon, one of them would be more attacking in nature, who would have that, just playing behind the striker kind of profile. The and other one will be like a proper attacking midfielder. And that slots Bruno and Cunha in those two spots really, really well. So I think with the kind of profile that he brings in, that could be a big plus to our system. What do you think?
Yeah, in his recent games, I've seen him gel up quite very well with Ait Nouri, and that was very brilliant to see, because Wolves play exactly the same system as us, and his combination play with the wing backs is a big thing for me, because we are also trying to get that system into place, right, wherein our wing backs bombard forward, and his combination play with them is a very good sign for me. He shoots at will. I think that's a very good sign for a number 10, because our forwards are a bit shot shy and goal shy as well.
Yeah.
I think he offers something very different to what Garnacho offers.
Yeah.
To what Amad Diallo offers, to what Mount offers, to what Bruno offers. So that is like, you need a different profile in each player, and I think that he brings that to the table. Some versatility in our squad.
Yeah. Talking about versatility, I think we have seen him play as a striker up front earlier for Wolves. And in the new system, he has played as that number 10 inward forward role. He can play as a winger in a 4-2-3-1 kind of a setup. And given that, we have got players who are of a certain profile, can play a particular system, I think having these versatile players is the key going forward. Like, for example, the signing of Dorgu that we did, he can play the wing back role, he can play the left back role. So he is flexible between a four at the back, three at the back setup. And I think so is Cunha. So I think that will be important. And the third thing, and we'll talk about it a little more, is the entire defensive work rate. He tends to run a lot. He doesn't, and we need those players. I think one of the big problems Amorim had with Rashford was the kind of intensity and effort that Rashford was bringing on the training pitch, on the during the games as well. And I think Cunha does that well, at least in the game. So I think that makes him a good fit for us. Further, if we were to talk about, where he has been playing, and you spoke about the fact that Vitor Pereira's Wolves, since he has come in December, play a similar system to us. That is the 3-4-2-1. Matheus Cunha has been flying there, Under Vitor Pereira, he has had 9 goals, 3 assists in 15 games, goals or assists every 100 minutes, 7 goals from an XG of 3.59. We'll talk about this a little more. But very involved in the game. And even if we look at that heat map, I think he's just owning that left side pretty much. He's doing the defensive work, coming back a lot, and then just on the edge of the box, he tends to maintain his presence and, as you said, shoot at sight.
Yeah, I mean, the overperformance of XG, I think it does come from the fact that he shoots a lot from outside the box. These are typically low XG shots. Doesn't shy away from, and it is not even like, these shots are very wayward or something. Most of these shots do end up being on target as well. And this is something which I noticed in the Leicester game as well. I think he had some 3 or 4 shots which were like very close to the goalkeeper and swerving inside. And, a lot of these could have been converted by goals by the striker as well. And this is the striker part of him, but I think what we shouldn't ignore is his playmaking skills as well.
Yeah.
I mean, don't think the 6 assists that he has in this Premier League season are very good indicator of how good he has been as a playmaker, because I see a lot of intricate passing, which he does, like, like picking a needle in the haystack kind of passes. Uh, it's a very good remnant of, the kind of passes which Scholes or a Carrick used to play, but very deep from the midfield. So to see a player do that from number 10 role is very encouraging for me. I mean, this is the kind of stuff which we currently are seeing from Bruno, and like, I think having a Cunha in the team will stop our over reliance on Bruno, which is, I think, very important to do right now.
Yeah. And I think I just was thinking a little more about that low XG, more goals. And, this is the stat under Vitor Pereira, but across the season as well. I think from an XG of 7 or 8, he has had 15 goals. So he is massively overperforming on his XG, but that is not, something which is a fluke or which is, for a short period of time. I think he is that kind of player who will take his chances, who is very confident and probably score from low XG shots. The only other player that I've seen that do consistently across seasons is Heung-min Son for Spurs. So I think, and come to think of it, they are players of a very, very similar profile. And we have discussed this in the past that, if a player like Son was to come into United, that would be great. So I think Cunha from that standpoint fits really well as well.
Yeah, not just great for us, it would have been great for Son as well. He wouldn't have been trophyless his entire adult life. But yeah.
Absolutely. But Harry Kane is finally, I think, breaking his trophy curse, going on to.
They say even after wearing this, he's still wearing a plate now. He's allergic to cuffs.
Yeah. Cool. So,
Comparing him to our numbered in stalwart, Garnacho, because when he comes to the system, Garnacho is the most likely that he'd be replacing.
yeah.
I mean, played almost similar number of minutes. Of course, Cunha has played more games, so more minutes, even though it's lesser games.
Yeah.
He's had 15 goals and 6 assists, so 21 goals and assist involvement. Let me just compare it with this season. I believe Cole Palmer, who's supposed to be the, the star boy of Chelsea, he has 22 goal involvements, and Erling Haaland has had 24 goal involvements. So he's the 8th most effective player in the Premier League when it goes for it. And I think his over performance on the XG does tell us that he is a great shooter, and he tends to pick the target from distance as well. So I don't think we should read too much into the over performance of XG as well.
Or I was saying maybe we need to read too much into it, and it's a positive sign for us. We finally have a player who is, when they are getting chances, they're converting those half chances, right? So I think because he's not doing it for a period of like 4, 5, 6, 10 games, he's doing it across the season. So there is enough sample size to say that he that's his style of play, right? And you spoke about the assist potential, and we can clearly see, the difference. I think he has 3x the assist potential that Garnacho has had this season, and which I think goes on to talk about, some of the decision making in the final third. And
I I also believe the assist potential also depends on the kind of forward you are feeding, and for United that hasn't been a brilliant thing, and Strad Larson has been scoring left, right, and center. So that of course Cunha has got that going for him. And Garnacho maybe not. We saw this in the previous game also, right? Garnacho did make like 2, 3 great chances which were begging to be finished, but like nobody finished them. Bruno
and
missed it.
And this is by no means a diss on Garnacho. Garnacho is just 20 at this stage. I think Garnacho and Cunha work really well, in my opinion. I think if he is a 20-year-old who will, be an understudy to Cunha for some time, I don't see that as a problem. Although we might end up selling him, we might not. I don't know what happens. But I don't mind Garnacho being an understudy to Cunha in the squad.
Yes.
Cool. So I think lastly, talking about, the overall behavioral and culture fit to Manchester United, and want to stress upon the culture fit point a little more, because Amorim has spoken about the fact that we are really monitoring some of our potential targets very closely. We are looking at what they do on the pitch, off the pitch, etc., to be able to figure out if they fit for us, and we want to make decisions even if we are making the deals, slower than usual or whatever. And two things that work for Matheus Cunha is: one, he's very adaptable. He's played across leagues, across managers, across systems. And I think he adapts very well to this, and he has been doing consistently well. And I think this is just the time, 25, 26, where he's peaking. So he's the right age profile, adaptable. And given where he plays, what he does, he, aligns very well with Amorim's system, Amorim's demands, what he wants from his squad player. A big area of concern for me, especially in the last season or two, has been his disciplinary record. Do you read too much into the 14 cards that he has had since last season, the ban he had because of his, altercation against Kirkes and the referee against Bournemouth, and what happened with Ipswich Town security personnel? Do you read a lot into that?
It's not ideal. It's not ideal that there's a place with so much fire in it, but you can see it from both the ends, right? We already have a player like say Bruno Fernandes who's like so fiery against the but like never crosses the line. All I want from a player is to be level-headed on the field, enough so that like they just skirt the line. But I think Gary Neville said this, that we are begging for some characters in the in our squad. We're maybe too much of a good team, and you always need that someone who has a dog in them. Maybe a player like say Eric Cantona. I think Rooney provided that dog for like quite a number of years. Like he had that tackle in him. He had that aggressiveness in him. When you needed to just switch on gears, this kind of players is when they stand up. But of course, if you want to see the flip side of it, we don't need another player who's gonna flip his fuse at crucial moment, because you can't do that at United. I've also seen some of his antiques with the fans, and I don't think that will fly off very well at United. He like he posts things on social media, interacts with fans, argues with fans, to be very honest, and I don't think those things bode well for him. But that being said, I do believe when someone signs for United, it is a bigger responsibility. But and with that, a player also adapts himself. So yeah,
And I think the
checking that.
I think the onus is on Ruben Amorim. I think he is making a decision to sign a player like this. His man management, we know, can be really good, can be a little brutal at times. So I think he will have to figure out a way. If it doesn't work, it's on Ruben Amorim totally. So I think
Yeah,
hopefully, we are hearing news that this signing can happen as quickly as June. Hopefully that goes through. We are, yeah.
How comfortable are you with the price tag? We didn't never talked about his price tag. It's a 62.5 million release clause.
Yeah.
It's not a like small amount, is it? I mean, if this goes through, this will probably eat up and say 40 to 50% of our probable budget for the summer. Are you happy with that? Is this a uh, position that we are prioritizing? One second is 62 million good for a player who is performing as well as Cunha, and the fact that I believe the price tag is because he's Premier League proven. Yeah. Are you comfortable with the price tag?
Yeah, see, so from what I'm hearing, that close to 100 million is what the Ineos hierarchy has sort of put up to be spent without even selling anybody. So I think that's like close to 62 million for Cunha, 40 million for Delap. So that I think covers the 100 million. And after that, any signing that has to happen is dependent on who we are able to sell, right? So there is a clear indication that our goal scoring has been poor. We are going ahead and prioritizing the goal scorers. And for somebody who can provide 20 odd goal contributions, has his peak yet to come, is Premier League proven, can fit into the system straight away. I mean, if he signed tomorrow, he can start playing, he can start being in the first 11 for us, right? So I think it's worth it. What about you?
Yeah, Faiz, I think the versatility you talked about, that he can fit anywhere in the front line.
Yeah.
I believe that that's a big point for us because our front line has been underperforming for quite a long time. Of course, when we will once we have Diallo, Garnacho, Zirkzee firing on all cylinders, they will need a good competition up ahead, and I believe Cunha will be that competition, and he raises our floor again a bit.
Yeah.
Physically as well, tactically as well, and with his skills as well. So yeah, I believe 62 million is a justified fees. It's not too high, it's not too low. Yes, just the right fees for a player of this profile.
Absolutely, absolutely. In all honesty, I was a little apprehensive before doing the research for this particular pod about Matheus Cunha, but I think I see the value. I see what he can bring it to the table, and I think he could be a good signing. So hopefully, we wrap it up early. He becomes a part of the squad going for the preseason, can settle into the squad, and go all guns blazing at the start of next season.